Welcome back to Pro Cycle Repair with Ian. Today we're going to be working on the 2016 Honda Shadow Phantom, and we're going to be rebuilding the forks. So the forks on it, I think I told you guys, they were bent, the cylinders on them. So I ordered some new ones. I was able to get just the new cylinders, not the whole fork assembly, from eBay, from China, for Honda Shadows. These forks are the same through like 2004 all the way up to now, so it's not really a big deal to get the new fork tubes. 160 bucks for a set. They were both bent, but yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how I already cleaned them. I already took them apart. Getting them apart, they say not to use an impact. I had to. I couldn't get the nut out. They also say there's a special tool that you can make and also buy, where basically it's a nut and a rod, and you stick that down in there to hold that in place, and then you unscrew it. But that doesn't really make sense, because this is what the nut would be touching, a perfectly round surface. And I actually have the OEM dealer how-to booklet, and it says nothing about that. So it just says put it in a vise and take it out. It says do not over tighten it to 22 foot-pounds. But yeah, let's get started. All right, so first things first, I cleaned this up. Just want to get all the old oils out of it, make sure we really clean, get it all good, because when we put the fresh oil in, you want a really clean cylinder. I only have barely a little bit of fluid down there. Next thing, what I did is I had to put this new collar rings on it. So this is the one that I had to take off. I put a screwdriver and I twisted it sideways just to now allow me to slide it off. Then you have this secondary collar, and then you have this washer that goes over it. So those are the first three things that we have to put on it. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called a piston or a plunger. And how it's going to go in is we're going to put this piece right here. This is called, I think it was an oil seal. It just goes on the end of it like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide, or no, put this first down into your new cylinder. Make sure you have the spring on there. So it's going to look just like this. Okay. Next, we're going to put this on here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place it down into our fork. But before we do that, let's put some oil on it, just so we can get it nice and slippery. Alright, so this particular bike requires or wants Honda's SS8. It's a 10 weight fork oil. I'm just going to lightly, all it is pretty much ATF. ATF is, I think, 7.5 or 8 weight. So it doesn't really specify for that, but I'm sure you could be fine putting that in there. Just need to do a thin coat, that's all. Just so we're not sliding it in dry. I wanted to show you guys is there's two bushings that go on these cylinders. There's this one that locks in a groove that goes on the bottom, and there's also this one, has a little copper coating, And that one goes up here, right underneath the oil seal. You can see it right in there. Let's see if it'll get a focus. So what you need to do is the proper way, you're gonna have this special tool that goes around it that drives it in. You can take a screwdriver, just go real gently, just tap it in all the way around, and you'll see it'll be flush with that bottom groove, and that's where that oil seal is gonna sit, right atop of it. And then you'll slide that washer over that, and then you'll put the oil seal, and then you'll put the I'll show you later, the little ring around it. That's what we want to do. All right, I'm gonna go back to driving it. I got that bushing in, and I put the washer on top. I slid the spring down in it, and what we're trying to do is we're sliding in that nut back in the bottom. I'm just seeing if it's catching the threads, which it looks. Looks like it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive that in really quick. I'm gonna use an impact. I already hear it spinning. Alright, so I know it wanted 22 foot-pounds on that bottom bolt. I actually used my big impact, but what I did is I put the spring in, put that top tube in, flipped it upside down, put it on the ground, put all my weight on it. That way you could get it to grab instead of just spinning inside there. And I pulled the impact, and then it finally grabbed and just did quick little brrr, just like that. Just that's it. Don't do any more than that. That'll be probably as close as we'll get it to. And I put some thread locker on there too, so just a tiny bit of blue. Alright, so next step. Looks like we got that bushing pretty even in there. We'll slide our collar over that. And we're going to do is take a new oil seal, slide that down on, pull this tube back out. And we're just going to gently push that in. Make sure it's all even. Goes in pretty easy. Just make sure to turn your screwdriver sideways a little bit at an angle, so that way it's not just going straight down into it. That way it's kind of grabbing the edge of it. Then just spin it around, make sure you're even. Looks like you got an edge over here. Alright, so when we got that in, then we're going to take this little ring, put that down around it, and we're going to squeeze it and feed it in there. sure you got that all the way in there. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to take this O-ring, put it on top of the spring. Then what you do is you take this and that goes above it. And then we'll squish that down and put this on top and seal it. But I mean, it's not, we can get it started, I guess. Might just wait till I have it on the bike. But yeah, that's how you do a fork seal for a Honda Shadow Phantom.